Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yes.
Back to the council member presentations. Council member Bradford.
Thank you. Thank you kindly, Mayor. To the citizens of Houston, I am very humbled and extend a great appreciation to each of you individually and collectively for the opportunity to serve as an at-large member of the Houston City Council for the last 6 years. It is true, some days have been better than others. However, I never expected to go into the swamp, kill alligators, and not get wet. Elected office, public service, is an opportunity to engage in activities in an effort to benefit the greater good of all. I have watched our city grow, confront a variety of challenges, and move forward. Is everything fixed? No, because public service deals with human beings and human behavior. Therefore, we won't wake up any morning and everything is all right. Something will always need attention. That is the social science side of the equation. Oh, I guess I could have been an architect, engineer, realtor, CPA, or even a chiropractor. But I deliberately chose the social science arena as a police officer, public safety consultant, and attorney. As I leave the City Council, I need to particularly and especially thank my staff. Ms. Wendy Richard Tilford, Ms. Sandra Fuente, Ms. Shandina Gay, and Ms. Leticia Williams Sherritt. Job well done. It is complete, and I hereby officially release you. There are a number of things which I could speak. However, I am most thankful for the progress with our city's after-school programs. Thank you, colleagues on council and Mayor Parker, for your support and dedicated funding source for these significant programs. They are truly effective and much needed crime prevention strategies. Perhaps the greatest tool that we leave in place is the council district service budget. Again, thank you, Mayor Parker. Without your support, it would not have come to pass. I have watched district council members work with their constituents, prioritize projects, and move forward. To the incumbent council members remaining on council, our new mayor, our new council members, and especially Ms. Amanda Edwards, my at-large position replacement, always remember that at the end of the day, when it is all said and done, it is not going to matter how many degrees you have, how many positions or titles you have. The question is going to be, what have you done to help others? And in my faith, I believe that every knee must bow, every tongue must confess, every tub must sit on its own bottom, and no one will escape accountability. God bless you and good luck. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Boykins.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're coming back. You can keep it short.
Mayor, I have a privileged motion. May we hear from each one of the retiring council members first?
We will in order. We will in order.
Okay, thank you.
Timekeeper, let my time.
Councilmember Boykins' time starts now.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Bradford, you know, those are some moving words. I just want you to know, excuse me, fighting the cold here. My first 2 years on council, and it has been a delight experience for me to sit next to you, to listen to you, to watch how you focus during the tenure of when it's public session, how you sit here every day, every moment. So I just want to tell you, man, you and your staff are great. And I know we're going to talk about all of the council members in just a minute. But I want to say to Councilmember Gonzalez, your leadership and friendship is very important to me, and I thank you for that. You're a true friend. Councilmember Costello introduced me to Rebuild Houston, and I was a non-engineer when I used to attend those meetings 2 days a week, Councilmember Costello, and I feel like I know something about civil engineering. So I thank you for that. Councilmember Wynn, your wit is just amazing. You're a good man, you have a great heart, and you're gonna be missed. And Councilmember Pennington, I just want to say this is one of the most serious individual issues that means a lot for this city. And you had considered running for Mayor Oliver. I think you've been a great candidate, because your heart is in the right place. So God bless you and your wife. Hopefully things work out there as well. What I want to do is just take a moment and highlight a few items that we accomplished in District D in 2015. During the spring of last year, we put together a Second Chance Jobs program that dealt with giving opportunities for those who made bad choices in the past. We had the job fair at Texas Southern University, over 1,200 attendees and 32 companies. We would do it again in the spring of 2016. We also implemented our senior minor home repair for the second year, where we repaired over 150 homes for seniors, minor home repairs at no cost to them. And we're excited that the board of directors consists of seniors, was led by Dorothy Booker, who took it very serious, her and the entire board, and we were just so excited that we were able to partner with Habitat for Humanity and a lot of small contractors who did it at cost for us. We also had the continuation of coffee and conversation. We had over 22 coffee and conversations where we would go and visit with residents in their neighborhood, sit at their coffee table, actually their dining table, old style politics, and sit down and talk about issues in that particular neighborhood. And we've been very successful putting out some fires doing it that way. So we're excited that we're going to continue that in 2016 as well. We also were just really thrilled to be able to bring Misty Copeland and Lauren Anderson, who lives here in Houston, to City of Houston. I'm a member, Janora and I are members of Windsor Village United Methodist Church, and Pastor Kirby John Caldwell allowed us, which is in District K, allowed us to host it at the KBC. So we're excited about that, and Misty is a beautiful young lady. Speaking of council service funds, we use, to the taxpayers, want you to know, we've used your money to put in an allocation for weeded lot overtime program with Department of Neighborhoods. And I want to thank Katie Tipton for helping me structure this, where we have employees to work only on weekends to address weeded lots that we identify in District D. We also contribute through the Parks Department towards the McGregor Park Master Plan, where we're about to redo the plan out there at McGregor Park. Also a memorial for the late Dwight Brazil at Fire Station 46, where we would have a memorial. Hopefully we would not have to put another body into another name on that memorial. Because we have a stray dog issue, Councilmember Bradford, we're transferring some funds over to the Bark Department so we can have full-time services one day a week, maybe twice, to deal with these stray dogs in District D. Also, the first-time home buyers program, we're enhancing that by transferring money into the home buyers program to help those who are on the list that need assistance for a first-time single-family dwelling. We're gonna spend more time doing that in 2016 as well. We have District D field inspectors. We're working with Katie Tipton's office as well with that to be able to identify inspectors through the council service budget only designated for District D only, so we can deal with these issues that are in violation. Also, I would like to introduce, well, I've done it once, but we have what we call the Next Generation Advisory Board of District D. These are young individuals that my office is allowing them to learn what it takes to become a leader in this city. And some of these young professionals are lawyers or teachers and just people looking for an opportunity to grow in the city of Houston. And we're taking these 15 board members with 2-year terms and trying to help transform them into a stronger professional. Last but not least, HEB on 288 in North McGregor. To the residents of District D, help is on the way. We've been struggling for a long time, and so I just want to thank you guys at the council table and HEB for their support.
Councilmember, do you need a Kleenex?
Yes,
We have some over here.
I know, Mayor. I was in the middle of my thing.
Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'll be short with my comments because number one, I don't feel very well, and number two, I want the emphasis to be on the yourself and the outgoing council members. But it's been a true pleasure to serve in this body with council members Bradford, Costello, Pennington, Gonzalez, and Wynn. The first thing I'd like to do is to recognize Debbie Costello in the audience. I know you were probably going to do that, but I told her this before, I've always admired how her and Stephen's relationship since the 3 years I've known him has moved and evolved, and I've never met someone who genuinely loves her husband and a gentleman who genuinely loves his wife. So God bless you. You are truly the wind beneath his wings. This body, in my opinion, will be not as strong come January 1st as it is today because of the loss of these outstanding members. Bradford, it's so tough to break in that police bark. It's just, he never shows any emotion, but the gentleman is so prepared and so forthright and so diligent with his actions. It's amazing, and I've learned so much from you that it's been a pleasure to sit with this knucklehead between us both and to watch how we both have to counteract with him a little bit. And Stephen, the same about you. You've taught me a lot. I think you've made me a better council member. Your patience, the way I always tell people when Stephen Costello speaks, I sit up in my chair and I listen. The same thing with Oliver Pennington, the conservative mind on the city council. It's been a privilege to office next door to Oliver and to go in with those special moments that he and I shared over the last couple of years, and the fatherly wisdom and the great intelligence that he's always brought to me. And in Mr. Gonzalez, Ed Gonzalez, I wish you have a long political future in front of you because you're not quite as old as these other three gentlemen, which is an advantage. But the purpose for the Mayor Pro Tem is always to support the mayor's agenda. And a lot of people that don't have that understanding don't realize you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So I applaud you for that. And I applaud you for the way you handled it. And Councilmember Wynn, the mayor was correct. You are one of the finest gentlemen I've met in my life. I'm sure you're not going to disappear, and I'm sure you're going to run for something somewhere down the road. And it's going to be a pleasure to watch you move on and prosper. And then Mayor, even though you and I have not agreed on a lot of things, but I would always tell people I admire your intelligence and I admire your forthright ability to get things done in a tough moment. When people come in and criticize you for the financial position of the city, this city is stronger today because of the last 6 years in the Parker administration. You have been very conservative with the city's dollars. You've done an awesome job. If people want to look at the problems of the city of Houston, they need to look many years before that time, because during your time, you've done a great job in maintaining the stability of the city in the face of some difficult financial challenges. So to each and every one of you, Godspeed. I hope we see each other through our journeys in life, no matter what direction they take. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure to serve beside you and with you in many regards. And I wish you nothing but the good Lord's continued health and blessings, not only in your life, but in the lives of your loved ones and your families. So God bless.
Councilmember Laster.
Thank you, Mayor. I, too, want to join the long list of folks that will be saying congratulatory words to our colleagues who are retiring from this body today. I will not call each and every one of you out, but with the exception of Councilmember Bradford, because you have reminded us that but for your expertise in helping us get this Council District Service Fund, we wouldn't have it. And on behalf of the citizens of District J who are enjoying the fruits of that effort every day, I want to thank you. I want to thank each and every one of my colleagues for helping me become a better council member, particularly those who are now leaving. I've been able to leave you a little card and let you know how special each and every one of you are to me. For those who may not really understand the sacrifice that is made around this horseshoe, there are those of us who may not agree with each other. Sometimes we may be passionate in our disagreement with one another. But for those of us who've been given the opportunity to be here together, there is a deepening and continuing respect for one another, because we know what each of us not only had to go through to get here, but what each and every one of us and our loved ones have to go through every day for allow us to serve. So my deepest appreciation to all of those who are retiring. Mayor, thank you for your 18 years of service to this city. We know that you do, in fact, love this city. To the residents of District J who have given me the opportunity to serve you, thank you. To those who have given me the opportunity to serve you for another term, I will work hard to earn that honor. To each and every one of you, have a happy or a holy Advent, a Merry Christmas, happy holidays and a very happy and prosperous new year. Thank you and God bless.
Councilmember Costello.
Thank you, Mayor. Colleagues, I've been the budget chair since July of 2010. And every budget cycle, our staffs are in the back playing budget bingo. And I never had the opportunity to play it because I was a budget chair. So I decided this last month of December that I was going to play my own bingo. Wow. So I want to read some of my successful closeouts. I was hoping to get a total blackout on my bingo card. I almost got there, but I am today. So here's what the squares say. Mike Morris stares in disbelief. Stardig weighs in as a subject matter expert. Cohen asks for closed captioning. Boykins hits on public speaker. Martin texts Cindy Clifford while also ordering an Uber black car. Wynn cracks himself up. Gonzalez reads the RCAs to everybody.
Because they won't.
Pennington forgets. Laster wishes he lives in the Golden Bowl.
Absolutely.
Green says, Kubash respects the will of the voter. Map drops her pen, leans back, crosses her arms, and gives the stink eye. Christie says no to diesel fuel and flu shots, but says yes to international travel. Meyer Shea wanders in late with a Starbucks. Andy Aikens crosses his arms and says, but for. Cindy Clifford throws a right hook, and Josh Sanders counters with a left jab. Anna Russell butchers all Hispanic surnames.
Castillo.
Bradford describes life as a turnip green farmer. Ron Green changes his hairdo. Santa Claus, a.k.a. Kubash, gets a lump of coal. Gallegos chases stray dogs. Robinson thanks Cahill West for coming to City Hall again. But I had one square that I couldn't cross out, and that was the square that had Jerry Davis dressing appropriately until today. I have an official blackout thanks to Jerry Davis's handsome look today. I'm not finished. So on a little bit more serious note, again, my wife is here, and we've been married 40 years. And we care about the city. And for the last 6 years, I have experienced council every Wednesday twice. The one sitting here and the one going home during dinner. And she's reading and taping and watching it and talking to me while I'm sitting there eating dinner. I said, honey, I've been through this already once this morning. But in all due fairness, I have been so proud to sit here with everyone sitting at this table that we truly do represent the city of Houston. Just look at who we are, from all sorts of professions, from all sorts of ethnicity, from all sorts of parts of the city. I didn't know this city until I became a council member. And there are parts of the city that I am so proud of, and there are parts of the city that I feel depressed that we have forgotten. And I think we need to continue to do that. And I said this last Friday, I'm leaving. I live in Councilmember Cohen's district, but every one of y'all are our district council members. We care about the city. I know you care about the city. And I know you represent your districts well, but you also represent everyone else outside your district. And I encourage you, and I know you will do this, I know you will work hard to make tomorrow better than today, because you've helped me make today better than yesterday. Thank you, and I wish you all the success.
Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. It's not fair to follow Councilmember Costello. Pretty creative, Steve. Before I begin, I want to first recognize and thank Councilmember Lovell. We had an opportunity to serve together, so Sue, good to see you out there. Yeah. And first, I want to recognize my team. I want to thank my Chief of Staff, standing over here, Jerry Peruccini. And in the audience, if they could please stand as well, we have Cody Miller, Brenda Garcia, Laura Thorpe, Carla Holsey, Diana Caicedo. Thank you all very much. Job well done. Greatly appreciate you, and couldn't have asked for a better team, so thank you all. Also, I recently had the opportunity to meet with Councilmember-elect Carla Cisneros and her team, and I'm confident that she and her staff will ably represent District H and contribute positively to the work of this body. My team and I wish her the best of luck and congratulate her once more on her election. I also want to thank all the city personnel as well, all the liaisons that have helped facilitate our work, and all the city employees that can't be here today because they're out in the field. I want to thank them. And here, obviously, all of the mayor's administration, those that I worked with very closely, but Marta, William Paul, Chris Newport, the entire team, and of course, Ms. Russell. You know, thank you for a job well done, Ms. Russell, and I hope you continue to serve as long as you wish. So I want to thank you. I'm going to miss you too. She said when she first walked in, she said, I'm going to miss you. Well, I'm going to miss her too. So, want to thank the council members that will continue to serve. I know that our city will stay in good hands. I know that you all are very, very talented individuals that work very hard for our city, and so I feel comfortable knowing that our city will continue to be served well no matter what happens, as well as all the incoming council members as well. I wish them well. And the exiting council members, we've had a good class. It's been an honor and privilege to work with you all. Councilman Bradford, I've known you probably the longest because of our time with HPD, and I respected you back then and appreciated your leadership on HPD and having an opportunity to serve with you as well. I thought you brought a lot of great ideas, a lot of great suggestions, and you know, I know we've named some things after some people, but I think you two deserve some special recognition because when you look at your body of work and all you've done for our city, not only in your capacity in law enforcement, but in other areas as well as council member and things you've done in the private sector, I definitely believe you deserve that special recognition. Councilman Pennington, it's been a privilege and honor to serve with you as well. I know how intimately you looked at all the financial issues and really stood by your principles and really advocated for sound fiscal policies and all that. And I want to wish you and your family the very best, and your wife as well. Councilmember Costello as well, thank you very much. I know I've learned a great deal about some of the infrastructure needs and all of that, and you've been a class act every step of the way. You've always been solid as a rock and just a solid individual, so it's been great working with you, and I wish you the very best. Councilmember Nguyen, you as well, thank you for the humor. You truly are a public servant at heart, much like I am, and so I greatly appreciate that, and I know that your future will be very bright no matter what you choose, and wish you and your family, your children, the very best. City Controller Ron Green, I know he's not present here, but I wish him very well as well. Wish him the best as well in all his future endeavors. And you, Mayor Parker, as well as my wife, Melissa, and I always say, you should write a book because you've had an amazing 18 years of service here, a tremendous example of leadership. I've had the unique opportunity to watch you firsthand, and I know how much you love the city. I know how hard you've worked for the city, having seen your calendar and all the commitments you've made to give back. And you're very passionate, and no one could question your work ethic, your strength, and you've had to tackle a lot of tough issues, and I think at the end of the day, history will be kind to you because you've done an amazing work for our city and moving us forward, and so I greatly thank you for that. And I want to thank and the constituents of District H for electing me to serve. It's truly been an amazing honor to be a native Houstonian and to be able to go back and serve the neighborhood in which I grew up in, to be able to serve, and I thank them very much for giving me that honor, for having voted for me, not only 3 times, but also in a special election. So I've actually been elected 4 times, so it's been an honor. Hopefully there's more along the way. So thank you very much.
We hope there's another election in your future as well. Councilmember Cohen?
It's tough to follow Sheriff Garcia. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I said a lot of what I wanted to say last Friday with tongue in cheek. So for me, it's just a matter now of being just a bit serious and to thank the council members that I've had the privilege of working with. You really are an amazing group. I'm sorry that you're leaving, but I know your passion's there, and I know that particularly Councilmember Costello, who lives in the district, he and Debbie, I'm sure I'll hear from them if there's something they think needs to be corrected. And Councilmember Costello said that coming here, they never knew what they were going to expect. Well, I moved here in '77, and all I could think about as I'm sitting here now was, can a girl from a small town in Ohio make it in the 4th largest city? And, here I am sitting around a horseshoe with such terrific people. So I wish you all the very best. To Controller Green, who's not here, it has been a pleasure working with him and seeking his advice. And finally, Mayor Parker, I knew you when both of us had darker hair and we're a few years younger. But contrary to what Councilmember Pennington said last Friday, I did go through the last 4 years of my records, and there was a time when I voted against you. So, that was one time when I voted against you.
Councilmember, I have a list.
But I have great respect for you. I always have. I've certainly given you, when asked, my opinion. And we haven't always agreed. But I really do admire your intellect. And I think that wherever you go and whatever you do, you're going to bring great credit to yourself, to your family. And I thank you for the privilege of working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you. You are a great council member. I am your constituent.
Yes, I know that.
So you mentioned Councilmember Costello calling you. I'm planning on.
Yes, I understand, but yes, well, that's true. And I must say, having been the mayor and a constituent, you are not my most difficult constituent.
Thank you. Councilmember Pennington. I think she's saying that you're going to be her most difficult constituent.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, when Councilmember Cohen was elected, she asked that I not sit next to the Mayor Pro Tem. She wanted to sit next to him, and she said she had a little bit of a hearing problem. So, except for that, I might wind up with her voting record, having to sit, and she might wind up with mine sitting farther away. But sometimes life takes the right turns. Some people said after my little spiel last week that I gave my old lang syne then, so I'll try to limit what I have to say to be very brief. First of all, I'd like to thank the residents and voters in District G for having me the privilege, affording me the privilege of serving, and also of supporting me after my elections. It has been a great privilege to attend the super neighborhood meetings and the evening meetings, and they have shown their support for things, and I think we've helped to affect some changes. I know Public Works is now holding public meetings to consider public input on the design of new thoroughfares like we did for Memorial Drive, and I know the mayor's a lot more responsible for this than I am, but the HPD is considering public input on the handling of the video information for the cameras. So anyway, things are changing for the better. I'm all for transparency, and I think that that's been a major thing that the mayor has pushed during her term here, and so certainly something that I have supported. In addition, my staffers are standing behind me. John Moss, my chief of staff, and Mark Kursky, my director of communication, and Mary Harmon, my director of constituent services. Sometimes she wished I'd call her something else so she wouldn't have to answer the phone and take all those calls. But they've been with me the whole 6 years, and we have gotten along well, and I think we have gotten some things done for our district, and I'm very, very appreciative of the work that they have done. I would also like to thank my daughter Sarah Tripoli, who originally spotted this position when Pam Holm was term limited. She said, well, you'd have a chance to win, and kind of encouraged me to do it. And I was retiring from the law firm about the same time, so it worked out to be the right thing for me. And then also my wife, of course, has been tolerant of my attending a lot of evening meetings and also going to banquets on Saturday night when she'd rather be somewhere else. But she's been very helpful, and actually she watches TV and gives me the questions when I get home sometimes, even though I don't want to answer them, just like Costello did not. So I see Debbie out there smiling. I'm sure she'll give a little critique of today's thing to see when he gets home. But we've had a good run here, and as I said, I have some things to be proud of because of what we have accomplished for District G. The service budget I would also applaud because there were a lot of projects that were either too small or too not important enough to get the attention of the departments that were important to the constituents, and we've been able to get those done in $25,000 and $50,000 tranches and made a difference. And it also kind of makes you feel like a county commissioner. You know, they've got their own budgets and we have ours to a certain extent. But the final thing I'd like to say is the same thing that I said last week, that I'll miss being here. I think we all have a bond, and we all have respect for each other because we're all trying to discharge our responsibilities in the best way that we know how. And I would also like to say that I think that each one of you is a genuine person. You know, when you object to something or you vote for something or against something, you know, I know where you're coming from. For the most part, you're not doing it for political purposes, but you're doing it for reasons that are well known to us who observe you at every meeting. And the last thing I'd like to say is thanks to the Controller Green, who's served with dignity and expertise, and I think has improved our credit rating somewhat. I believe it was upgraded. Maybe it hadn't. I hope it hadn't been downgraded again. And also to our mayor, I can remember observing her from publications at Rice, where I know she was I didn't know her at the time, but I know she was very much an activist, and I know she pushed things out there, and she has continued to push for gay and lesbian and other rights and minority rights and non-entitlement rights of all kinds. She's very much for that, and she's been successful in doing that, and that's not to speak of the major issues like Rebuild Houston and the many other things that she has proposed. So I'm satisfied with my term here, and I thank everybody for working with me and supporting good projects. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, let me just say that I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss the outgoing council members. Each one of you bring a unique skill set that makes the city so great. Councilmember Bradford, your assistance really, you didn't know it, but as a mentor to me, I watch you as an attorney, how you were able to get things moved. In the budget process, again, people keep saying the council service budget, but that is so huge with regard to being able to take care of those projects we couldn't get on the CIP, or streets that we couldn't get repaired that just really needed concrete street repair. But because of that, you will, and that in your work with after-school programs, you really have made a huge impact on thousands of citizens here in Houston, so I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. And then, of course, Councilmember Pennington, right here to my right, every day, such a gentleman, such a scholar. I appreciate his views. I always know where he's coming from. There's no hidden agenda. When he moves things forward, he truly believes that it's in the best interest of the city, and I just appreciate that, and I appreciate having his counsel and having the opportunity to ask him questions when things arise. So I just want you to know that I appreciate you, and I'm going to miss you being my right-hand guy here. And then, of course, Councilmember Costello, your expertise on issues relative to Public Works, Engineering with Rebuild Houston, those Rebuild Houston meetings. I appreciate, having someone we could always turn to and ask, are they telling us the truth on this deal? And you are that guy who says, no, they're not. We can do this, and so I appreciated that, and it came in in handy when we had to deal with Public Works Division. So I appreciate that. And then of course, Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez. You've done a remarkable job of moving projects that people don't even know that you're behind. Making recommendations on different projects with regard to HPD and others, BARC and other issues behind the scene. You quietly move. I know you had your own opinion. A lot of folks said, well, you just does what the mayor, but I know that you were able to get yours in, and I think the city is better for it, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for that. And then, of course, Councilmember Nguyen, you're gone, but you're not really gone. You'll be here, and I know you'll be back, and we appreciate everything you brought to the table with regard just to keeping us humane and keeping us laughing, and I do appreciate that. Ron was the one that called me at my law office and said, man, have you seen this map? You need to go ahead on and maybe try to run for this District K seat, this new K seat. And then when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, that's kind of where I grew up. That's my hood. And so I appreciate Ron for doing that. I appreciate his counsel being in that controller's office and being a public servant for the city. He's given up so much, a lot you will never know, but I know, because we go back so many years. So I appreciate him for that. And then finally, of course, the mayor. Mayor, we fight like cats and dogs, but I got to tell you, I love you to death, and I know that you love this city. I really do, and that's why I will always defend you when you have ignorance coming before you. But at the end of the day, you've done remarkable things for this city with regard to our green space, with regard to our quality of life, with regard to people just wanting to come here. And when they say that Houston is the coolest city in the nation, it's true. I'm not sure if y'all gone out on a Friday or Saturday night, but it is off the chain. And a lot of that is because we make it amenable, we make it favorable for everybody to have a good time, to prosper, and to move forward. And you definitely will be known by history by making this city a more welcoming city and a better place to be. So I'm going to miss all of you guys. I think you guys are all stand-up folks. I appreciate you. I appreciate your service. I appreciate your efforts. And I know you guys may not be around this horseshoe, but you will be here in public service. And I will continue to look forward to working with you. So thank you.
I know everybody appreciates my poker face.
Yeah.
Councilmember and Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Same thing here. I want to thank Councilmember Nguyen for the great time we've had the last 2 years. Councilmember Pennington, thank you for helping me, giving me information as it relates to Rebuild Houston. Councilmember Gonzalez, thank you for adjusting your glasses as you read your no, I'm just joking. No, it's been a great time working with you all. And Mayor Parker, I'm still trying to figure out if the comment you made about me being the best council member in District B, how to take that. I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, but I'm still thinking about that one. But it's been a great time for me, my last 4 years working with you all, coming in, understanding what's been established and how things are operating, and how to move things forward. And with that being said, I thank Councilmember Bradford. Talking to you in the beginning of the first year and the second year, because if it weren't for Councilmember Bradford, I was going to push for a $10 million council district service budget. And he told me, I don't think we can get that, Davis. And so I didn't know. So, but I thank you for the wisdom, being a mentor by just showing me what questions to ask, how to, when it was my time to get on the mayor's skin, how to do it. It was a great opportunity. Also, Councilmember Costello, appreciate the lunch and the lunches that we've had in the last few years, helping me along as the vice chair of finance, showing me where the money was located, co-sponsoring a budget amendment to make sure that Public Works uses all the money to go out there and fix those streets to honor the intent of Rebuild Houston and the fee that we assess to all our constituents, and to let them know that the money is being done and the streets are being operated and the work's been done in the proper manner. So I just thank you all for all the work that you all have been doing. The impression that you all, I hope, next year as a senior council member, Councilmember Martin says that we're not going to be as smart, this body, because you two are gone. Hopefully we can pick up the phone and make a call to you two and ask questions. And you know, we'll lead for the incoming council members like you all have led. So we'll charge that to the district council service budget. Thank you so much.
Councilmember, I've now worked with 5 District B council members, and I have to say that one is a citizen and 4 actually serving in this chamber. And it used to be that the District B council member was considered always the best dressed council member. Yeah, you should not respond to that one. Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Bradford, Councilmember Costello, Councilmember Gonzalez, Councilmember Pennington, and Councilmember Nguyen. These past 2 years that I've been on council, you haven't just been my colleagues, you've been my friend. You've been outstanding council members. I've learned a lot from y'all. I know that y'all really, truly care about this city. And with that, I want to say thank you and I wish you well. And your service to the city has only made the city better. So thank you. To Mayor Parker, I want to thank your wife, Kathy, and your family for sharing you with us and with this city these past 18 years. Your outstanding work for this city and your love for this city is shown. You just drive around this city and you can see great things. I personally feel that you'll be known as one of our best mayors. So thank you again for your service to the city.
Thank you, appreciate it. Councilmember Starting.
Thank you. Councilmember Nguyen, I just want to, I'll take that as a compliment that you're going to pull a star dig. I like that. And I think you can do it. I think it's in your blood now. And just stick with doing the right thing and it will work. For the rest of you that came in as class of 2010, I should be going out right now with you, but as we just stated, that things changed, and it gave me the opportunity to be a holdover, as you might say, and hopefully some of the experience that I've gained by working with you from day one, Mayor and colleagues, working on a budget that was in a deficit when we arrived, and had to go through some serious decisions. I hate to highlight the fact that we had to lay off so many city employees, but we made some hard decisions for the right reasons, and I admire and respect each of you for your respect and love of the city, that you were willing to do that for the city and the citizens. And I know that we're going to have some more hard decisions, and I hope that we have your support going forward, and that you're here for us and to support us, that you're not leaving. You're leaving the chamber, but you're not leaving us. As it's been stated, you're our friends, and will always be our colleagues and our peers, and we appreciate you very much. As I stated last week, many of us have other opportunities in life, in our careers. This is my 3rd career, I think. But Councilmember Pennington, any of us here have other choices that we could make, and we've made the choice to be here. So with that choice that you've made, I just want to say how much I love and respect each of you for that decision to make the sacrifices you and your families have made for the city of Houston. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kubash.
Thank you, Mayor, for that phone call you made the night I won the runoff. I'll never forget how shocked I was that I'd received a phone call from the mayor of the city of Houston. My wife and I were in the car, and she said, "Who was that?" I said, "That was Mayor Parker. She just called and congratulated me." And I appreciate you making my wife feel so comfortable when she come to your home. I'd like to say to Councilmember Gonzalez how much I appreciate you getting on that float with me Thanksgiving a year ago, and our wives hollering at those Cowboy fans, and you and I had to get on the other side of the float to make sure we didn't get ourselves in trouble. And that was a wild moment, I'll tell you that. I asked my wife, does she not realize that we were in Houston? You know. Also, Councilmember Costello, if you hadn't helped me with the budget amendment for getting the cars out of the bayou, I don't know what I'd have done. Thank you very much for your support. And you know, this turnip green farmer from South Louisiana, you know, you just can't get to right by doing wrong. And he loved to say, what starts out wrong, well, it ends wrong. And you know, I learned what Nexus was. First time he ever said Nexus, I thought it was a car. You know, you know, what do you mean this Nexus, you know? And I had to go look that up. And then he talked about the item in chief. And I said, well, you know, he's the chief of police. Maybe he's talking about that. I don't know. And then he talked about pro-offer. Pro-offer, I don't know what a pro-offer is. And proviso. And I started learning all these words. And I heard people talking about oboe and OBO and CAFR and MOPAR. And I said, man, what is all this stuff, you know? Well, you know, I've started kind of figuring it out. And it's been quite a journey. And Councilmember Bradford, you know, if I've ever had a friend in my older age, it's got to be you. And I'm going to really miss you. And the radio show we've had, and all the comments and the calls and the fun. And we didn't always vote the same. I never could understand when it seemed like you was with me, and then when I voted, you didn't vote with me. It's like, what happened? Where did I lose him? Councilmember Wynn, the purple and all of the things you've done in your comments, you're going to be missed around here. And Councilmember Pennington, I appreciate your wisdom, and your office is right next to mine. And I just appreciate all of you. May God bless you, and have a great life.
Councilmember Wynn.
Thank you, Mayor, colleagues. Councilmember Kubash, I think we learned something together. Bifurcate, was it?
Bifurcate.
Yeah, just something like that. I remember our
Aren't you glad I asked what it meant?
Yeah. Mayor, thank you for 18 years of service. We know that you love this city. Here's a hint. Spread that love to the state. Councilmember Bradford, thank you so much for that district fund that enabled us to get a lot of little things done. That was very helpful. Councilmember Costello, thanks for your infectious optimism and your encouragement. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez, our first meeting together, you told me that shyness is not a weakness, and I found that strength. Councilmember Pennington, thank you for working with me on the panhandling project. Wow, we did a lot of laughing and crying together. I did all the crying, you did all the laughing. But Councilmember Green, I'm gonna write a book. It's called 50 Shades of Purple for you. It's not gonna be very sexy, but who knows? Councilmember Laster, District Jeff, I guess it's gonna go back to J and F. But
We'll hold it open for you.
thank you. And Councilmember Christie, you told me to be myself. I don't know if you remember that. I haven't changed. Councilmember Kubash, I hope that our paths will cross again, but hopefully not at an intersection without red light cameras.
Okay, brother, I got it. Ho, ho, ho.
You know, this is my fairy tale. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an engineer from New York, not a turnip green farmer from Louisiana or a CPA from New Orleans. Just a timid little boy from a war-torn country who came to this country not knowing a word of English, but grew up to represent the most diverse district in the 4th largest city in America. It was only a dream that only a few people can realize, but I lived it for a short moment, but I would not trade it in for all the gold in the universe. In only 2 years together, District F We have accomplished what no one has done in previous years. Our neighborhoods are safer because we funded overtime pay for our police officers and our firefighters. Our communities are cleaner because we took care of illegal dumping and cleaned up graffiti. Our district is drivable because we replaced potholes with concrete panels. Our sidewalks are passable because we repaired all the bumps and the cracks. Our children are happier because they spend their after-school hours learning and playing in their communities rather than in the streets. We gave Golden Bamboo Village sidewalk and streetlights, even when no one thought about asking. We secure funding for our first multi-purpose community center that has been in the works for 15 years. District F had the biggest CIP meeting in the city, the only one where our mayor came to support, plus so many others. I don't like to brag, but your council member was the first ever freshman to co-chair the Johnson, Rayburn, Richardson dinner, the biggest Democratic fundraiser in the county, possibly the state. It was an honor to have served, yet it was a bigger honor to have served with the best, all of you. Although I was twice victimized by an emotionally charged election, but had I to vote to support Hero 1,000 times over, I will still stand on my courage and conviction. And unlike this hero figure here, I will not wear a mask. I voted for equality, equality for all. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." So on May 28th, 2014, I stood not in the shadow of Dr. King, but I soared on the wings of humanity, and I am immortalized on YouTube. So speaking of flying, thank you, Alvin Burf, the best navigator anyone could ever have. Thank you, Dylan Osborne, the best wingman any pilot could ever depend on. Thank you, Tantrin, for being the best flight planner anyone could ever ask for. Thank you, District F, for your love and support. And thanks to my family at home. I will still be a part of the community. I will still be around and about, so you will still see me in our beloved District F. I will still be your voice, and you will still have my heart. God bless you all. Thank you.
Councilmember Christie.
You know, you wanted buildings named after more Asians, so we're going to change the Toyota Center to the Win-Win Center. I've sent y'all notes individually, but I can't duplicate what you've said about the compliments of the retiring members, but I'd like to add to Richard that, you know, what he's taught us, and once you sit down with him and listen to his life story, he's taught us to love this country and to appreciate it. Because sometimes we go along, we have the best military in the world, we have great leadership, we have bountiful country, but we don't appreciate it enough. And Richard has taught us that. The only other member, again, I jotted a note to you, but to Ed Gonzalez, you know, when I watch a deliberative body, I look on who walks the walk, who can do a job better than I can, better than, I even watch the White House and I watch their spokesperson. Would I have said it different? Would I have done things different? So when the mayor's out of town, Ed said the right word in a calming effect, and intelligent, well-prepared, and has done a great job as Mayor Pro Tem. And then the mayor, let me just stop. They didn't let me, they edited all my tapes for Friday's luncheon. But, and I think they used me for humor and not serious statements. So. But we've had a mayor, and you look at, sometimes history gets the right people in the right spot at the right time. And a lot of us badger her on different things, but you got to remember, worldwide, she was picked as the 7th most admired mayor in the world. That's pretty good. And I've traveled with her to, I think, 15 different countries. And I watched what she said. Ms. Cohen, I'll get to you in a minute. But
she's not done yet. She's got another term.
She's got 4 more years?
Yeah.
Ellen Cohen does?
She does.
Oh, shoot. Ted Oberg is looking into the poll tax revenues for Ellen Cohen's trip over Christmas. So, but in those countries, I said, would I have said things differently to bring business to Houston? And whether it's Middle East or South Africa or Brazil, she said the right words at the right time to the right people. And I couldn't have done it better. And she's been a great ambassador to this city. And then you also judge people by the walk they walk. Bradford said, you know, at the end of the day, it's what you've done for other people. And if you knelt with her in 98-degree weather, pulling weeds and planting vegetables, that's a pretty good leader. If you've been with her 30 degrees weather, talking and listing the homeless in this town, that's a pretty good leader. And to eliminate veterans' homelessness, the most deserving people protecting this country, to eliminate that, childhood homelessness. And how many of us have given our house key to a homeless individual? And then adopting 2 more beautiful girls and say, our life is your life. That's leadership. We've had a great mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Robinson.
Mayor Parker, thank you very much. And I think Councilmember Gonzalez has got a great idea about naming things after outgoing council members. And the Toyota Center going to Councilmember Nguyen is a genius idea, Jack, if I do say so. Thank you for that. I've got a couple of other proposals as your architect on council, Mayor Parker. You know, I'm a planner. When I came to council, and I think when you came to mayor, I had that on my business card, as I have for 16 years, but I don't think we really had it in our vocabulary as a city. And you have really helped bring that with the general plan, with the bike master plan, with the arts and cultural plan, Memorial Park Conservancy plan, and the list goes on. So for you, I think if there is a monument to be celebrated in your name, it's that planning is now introduced to the city of Houston. So I salute you for all the accomplishments that our colleagues have mentioned, but for bringing that forward thinking to Houston, I am most grateful. And Councilmember Gonzalez, with you leaving as Mayor Pro Tem, I would think that there is indeed a monument to your service that should be erected in a great public space somewhere. But considering that your public life is not over yet, I'd just like to suggest for the record that I'd be considered for that commission when it comes up, because I think I could do you justice. With that, I think Controller Green going out, surely there's a bank or a financial institution that would like to bear his name, like the Green Bank, if that hasn't already happened. But if not, I'm sure that would be a good idea going forward. Councilmember Costello, for you, with your focus on infrastructure, and I think what the city needs ongoing with drainage and flood control, I'd like to propose that you stay in the game and that so much of our infrastructure can be trusted in your hands. So I look forward to working with you in that regard. And I think finally, CO Bradford, in your great service to the city, I think we've already celebrated a monument today, the new grocery store for HEB that I think should be christened in your name when it comes time, the CO Bradford HEB District D store.
There are two council members who are back in the queue. Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I apologize. I didn't recognize my good friend Debbie Costello. Debbie, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Also, Mayor, I want to recognize some of your staff, and I'm remiss I didn't say anything about you and Comptroller Green, but when I first came in, Lynette Chain was your chief of staff, and she welcomed me, and I appreciate what I learned from her. And then you brought Chris Newport in, who I have the utmost respect for what Chris has done with this new initiative of the council service budget with my office, and I know Jessica can second this. He's made that transition very smooth for us to be able to do some of the things. So Chris, publicly, I want to thank you. Don't know what your future will be, but if it was up to me, you would still be here. But I think you brought a lot of goodwill to my office. Andy Aiken, I can't thank him enough, Mayor, for his leadership in some of the projects in our district. And I just want to publicly thank him as well. Steve Kirkland, I'm going to call Steve the silencer, because y'all don't, I had to learn the hard way. Steve Kirkland is the one, every major deal comes through, he has his fingerprints on it. And the mayor listened to Steve because he's a very, very brilliant attorney. And I just want to publicly thank you, Steve, for helping with some of the projects in District D. And the last staff I want to, well, all of them are great. William Paul Thomas, I can't thank him enough for telling me all these great things and calling me saying he has the votes and he be lying. But anyway, that's a different story. But he is great at his job, and I think he's the best in that role. City attorney, when I got here, Dave Feldman was the city attorney. And whether you loved him or hated him, he was a man that tried to make it work.
Point of order. Councilor Boykins, you're coming back. You're not going anywhere. You won.
See, a great politician, hey, Ed, a great politician know how to plant the seed for the future. That's what I'm doing, to be honest with you. But Dave Feldman, Mayor, you brought in some great people, and Dave Feldman always made a way to make it work. One of the things I talked to him about was the Houston Chronicle and the Houston Business Journal were the only two papers receiving the bulk of the advertising dollars. And I showed him where the Houston Forward Times, which is located in District D, a predominantly African-American paper, had the circulation just like those two with a second-class permit. Nobody else had it. And Dave Feldman made it work. And now the Houston Forward Times is in the 3 circulations with the Chronicle and the Business Journal. Mayor, that was because of your team. So I want you to know I really appreciate it. And last comment towards you, Mayor, I think Jack Christie said it best. Councilmember Christie said it best about your funny story. We were at the, Janora and I was chairing the UNCF Gala. I tell this story all the time, and so I had the honor of introducing the mayor, and I said, for those who don't know, this woman here, she and Kathy adopt 3 beautiful young men and women that look just like me. Y'all just don't know it, and I'm so appreciative that she could have picked anybody, Josh Sanders, but they look like me. So of course the mayor comes up behind me, and they gave her a standing ovation, and she said, first thing she said, thank God my children don't look like Dwight Boykins.
My girls. I said, I thank God my girls.
That's right. But Mayor, I can't thank you enough. I want to talk about the Crestmont Village, what you did for those people that was in need. You responded. William Paul, thank you again for that. Chris Newport, thank you guys. So I want you to know you will go down in
Dwight,
history.
your colleagues are about to, they're
I
calling.
know.
They're
I'm about
calling
to
a
go.
point of order
I'm through.
on
No,
you.
that's the last comment, and Ron Green will be missed. That's it. But Mayor, thank you.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Thank you. Councilmember Boykins, I had the privilege to sit next to 2 city attorneys. So I just want to say, Ms. Edmondson, thank you so much. Councilmember Christie and Councilmember Robinson, thanks for the Toyota Center, but I've already got a parking lot named after me. That's enough. Thanks.
It's only a parking space. It's not a whole parking lot, he says. Council members, for the last time, for this administration and for those of you in this term, we are adjourned.